guitar. Today we're looking at exercise 15, moving from string to string. Before we do that, we are going to review exercise 14. Exercise 14 is like a good warm-up. Now we know 6 notes. It's always good to play through all 6 notes. It's also good to play through it backwards just to get the practice of moving up and down on the guitar. So what we're going to do is we're going to play B, C, D, E, F, G, and then we'll repeat it, G, F, E, D, C, B. I should preface that playing the notation backwards is not a thing. This is just for practice purposes to get used to the motion of doing and so on. Okay, but I will set my metronome for this. I'm going to play exercise 14 forward and then repeat the last note and play it backwards. You can do this fingerstyle and with a pick. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, repeat the G. And now we move backwards. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Now, if that sounded slow, it's because it was. So, what you can do is, as you get better at this, you can pick up the tempo. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And I don't suggest doing that in increments of 10. You should do increments of 2 to 4. But you can hear it as you get with a faster tempo. Here it is. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Becomes a little bit more reasonable. And I'm just stopping to give you the idea. You can practice this as you please. 100 is a pretty good goal. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, repeat the G. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then you can start at 60, which is a great starting place, nice and steady. Make sure that our technique is correct, and work your way up. At some point, if you want to play along with the video at tempo 100 to make sure that you're sounding the same that I'm sounding, you can go ahead and do that, or you can take it away and play along just with yourself to the metronome at a speed of your choice. Moving on to exercise 15, this is the first time we're going to play cross string, going back and forth. So as we normally do, we're going to look at what the notes are. So we see that this is B, we know that's the second string, and then it goes to E, the open string. And we still do rest strokes. So when I strike through the B, it's going to rest on the third string. When I strike the E, M is going to rest on the second string. Next measure, B and E. Good news, that's the same. We already did this. Now I see C and then E. Okay, so C is on the second string. Same concept, I strike the second string, rest on the third, strike the open E, strike the first string, rest on the second. C and then E. Very good. It's exactly the same. So now I have 4 measures, and I see that each measure repeats. I think we're coming onto a pattern, right? Then I see the note D, that's the second string, okay. And then the note E. And then I see the note D again. And then I see the note E again. Definitely a pattern, right? So far we have a measure, and that measure repeats. So the first line up until where I just put the cursor right there sounds like this. Without any kind of rhythm, I'm just playing through the notes to make sure that I'm correct for it. The other thing we should notice is that all of these are half notes, except for the note at the very end, which is a whole note. And then I have D, and then I have E, and then I have D, and then I have E. All right, let's do a little bit of analysis. Okay, here D, still there, and then F. So I have D, and then I have F, and then I have D again, and then I have F. Good repeating pattern. Now here's the thing. We have two notes on different strings. When you have two notes on different strings, you don't have to take the fingers off. I'm just going to play these two measures right here, D to F, D to F. If I take the finger off after I play it, I'm going to get a choppy sound that sounds like this. Which is a thing, and there's a way to write that in music, and that's not what's being written here, right? So when we have an instance of two notes on different strings, we can keep both notes held at the same time. Notice that I'm holding both D and F. D, and then F. And then D, and then F. It makes a smoother sound. So when we get this section, we're going to remember, we're going to keep D down, because we started from D from here, D to E. And now I'm going to keep D down, D to F. And then I see the open E, so I do have to take the fingers off. G is also on the first string. And then the note C. So this is where we break the pattern, no repeating at the end. Okay, so the technique is really about keeping your fingers down for as long as you can to create a smooth sound. If you don't have to pick the finger up, don't is the concept, right? So like when we play from C to E, yeah, they're different notes, but C to E, C to E. Why stop the sound of C if you don't have to? First of all, you kind of already stop it when you do the rest stroke, because when you strike through the first string, you're resting on the second. But the overtones of the guitar, that's when you play, and you can kind of still hear a little bit of that ringing. Right, so the overtones, when we stop, even though I stop the second string, there's still a little residue of that note, and that helps sound good. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to play through exercise 15. This is where you can pause the video, practice along, come back to this point, and play along, watch the technique, take a couple of listens, take a couple of views, watch the top angle for my left hand, watch the bottom angle for my right hand, put the two together, go over this several times. I'm going to take it at tempo 60, nice and steady, to make sure that the technique and the tone is correct. And once you get it down at 60, you can always practice it at a faster speed. 2, here it is. Now C. Now D. At the same time, holding them at the same time, but not playing them at the same time. Play them when they're written. Okay. And now I'll play it with a pick, all down strums, or all down picks. 2, here it is. C. Gonna hold D and F at the same time. All the fingers come off.